Good morning. Would the directors please take their seats? Welcome to the third mutual board meeting for the year 2019. It's amazing, I keep forgetting what year it is. I don't know if I'm alone. So welcome. I would like to call this meeting to order. We have a quorum, and the next thing we will do is have the Pledge of Allegiance, and I was selected to lead it today. Thank you. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there any media present? Okay, no media is present. All right, can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I so move.
Second? Second. Okay,
I have
second.
discussion.
Well, the first person who could discuss is Steve.
Okay.
But so you have anything?
I'd just like to talk about the assignments to committees and add on some of the people as
So we'll remove it.
advisors.
We'll remove it from the consent calendar.
Correct, and James has some too.
Okay, so we will remove that. Is it on the consent calendar?
D, 11D.
Okay, so we'll remove
Yeah.
that to unfinished business
Okay.
as A1. And the other one that is A will be A2. Okay, is there anything else? Yes, Jack?
Madam President, I would like to defer 13B today. There are some issues that have to be
Right,
addressed.
excellent choice, because that should not have been on the calendar without passing through the finance meeting. I was a little bit shocked myself, so good move. We will just remove that. That will not go to closed session. It will go, 13B has to go to the finance meeting because it has to do with raising charges, and we didn't do the evaluation that we usually do, so absolutely. Yes, Mr.
Yes, just a correction
Tung?
on item 15, GRF committee highlights, that on the December 19th, the,
Which letter is it?
huh?
What letter? says
C.
C, okay.
The GRF landscape committee meeting was scheduled on December 19th, but they canceled.
Okay, so
So
there was no
the
meeting
correction,
on
there's no
December
meeting,
19th.
right.
But there will be one on January, in
Yes,
January?
so
Okay.
far, yeah, we have not
Okay,
heard
we don't have,
anything
all right,
else.
so all we know is, all right, well, that's a good correction, thank you. Is there anything else? Okay, so we have the agenda that has slight corrections. One is moving something off because it needs proper discussion at the right committee, but the other one is cosmetic, so to speak.
Yeah.
And the other one is to move something to discussion. So based on the updated agenda, do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Okay, second? All right, so all those in favor? Are we voting? Okay, are we voting by machine today? All right, next one we'll vote by machine, by computer. Will be modern. Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes? It is the minutes from the December 18th regular open session.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any comments? Any corrections? No. Okay, that means that Roy and Cheryl did an outstanding job. All those in favor?
Aye. Oops. Oh, yeah.
We
Here
all
we
in
go.
favor? We're all in favor, okay. Okay, so the next item is the report of the chair. First of all, I want to publicly apologize to our magnificent communications director, Eileen Paulin, and to the communications division, because last meeting I spoke incorrectly and said that the breeze had something in it that was not board-related, and I was incorrect. The resident who told me that little bit of information, I should have double-checked it. So I apologize, and you do a fabulous job, and we just hope the breeze is going to get better and better. So the other thing is we do have a new CEO. The name of the CEO is Jeff Parker. He is not related to any of the other Parkers we've had on the board in the past, just in case we were wondering. And he will start on February 4th. He was interviewed by an interview committee and was selected by the majority of the people on the committee as the new CEO. We have met him, well, I was on the committee, but he came last Friday to meet the board, and most of you were there, so we had a good turnout from Third. And he will be joining us on February 4th. We, though you didn't get the email yet, are going to have a meeting next Wednesday afternoon to discuss the critical issues that we believe that we have so that we could present them to the new CEO when he starts. So the critical issues that we have for Third, that's going to be part of the meeting that we have next Wednesday afternoon. Cheryl will get the email out today, if we get out of here in enough time today for her to do it. Siobhan, who has done an outstanding job for us, and we thank you, Siobhan, will stay on as the COO, and now we expect to get even more done because she won't be running around doing two things. So we are very happy to have you here, and thank you for keeping us together and dealing with all of the things that we deal with. Yes, John.
What time is the meeting on Wednesday?
Cheryl, what time is the meeting on Wednesday? I believe it's at 1 o'clock? Yes, 1 o'clock.
I've got traffic, but I can't make it.
Well, maybe you can get out of it. We tried to get it at a time that everybody could be there. All right. So other than that, I have nothing new to go over as my remarks. So I will now move it over to the open forum, which allows 3 minutes per speaker. And if you want to speak, we have asked you to come up and pull a card and give it to Cheryl. And Cheryl, the rest is up to you. Please note that we don't answer the questions. If you bring up any issue while you're up at the microphone, we generally take all of the speakers' issues and then do it at the end of the session. So Cheryl, do we have anyone today?
Yes, our first speaker is Chris Collins.
Good morning, Chris. Welcome.
Good morning, Rosemarie, and all of you on Third Ward. Thank you so much for your untiring service in this endeavor. I'm Chris Collins, 3306Q, and I'm here with another update on the work of the Foundation of Laguna Woods Village. I'd like to begin by thanking all of the folks who responded to our fall-winter fundraising letter. You were very generous this year with your donations, along with IRA distributions and end-of-the-year tax-deductible contributions to our charitable organization. The foundation sends 2 fundraising letters each year, and we count on your generosity to help your friends and neighbors with their temporary financial needs, allowing them to age in place in this beautiful place. We would also like to thank the various clubs that donate monies from their treasuries to help our residents. Of particular note is Laguna Woods Men's Golf Club, who have named the Foundation of Laguna Woods their charity of choice and devote all their fundraising activities to benefit residents. As you know, the volunteer board of the foundation could not do its work without the assistance of the Social Services Department. Their professional staff assist our residents to resources from not only the foundation, but from county, state, and federal sources. If you have a problem, consider checking in with these staff assistances. In our Laguna Woods Village, you are not alone with your problems. There's help out there. Thanks again for all of your generosity as we begin the new year.
And thank you for your work, Chris.
Okay, our next speaker is Stuart Hack.
Good morning, Stuart.
Good morning, everybody. I'm here on behalf of the Gardenville Association. 2 items I'd like to bring to your attention where we need help. The hallway lights are not coming on in the 3-story buildings, and this is following the loss of electrical power a few days ago. Some of the building captains have requested their lights be turned on and nothing has happened. I only know of one building that has their lights coming on, and it's dangerous. It's very, very dark in those hallways. So if there's anything we can do, I think we've been asked not to tamper with those lights. So, but if it gets to the point, if you don't have the ability to do it and you want to train us, I mean, we're willing to help is all I'm saying. We just need to have it taken care of. And the second thing is water and sewage leaks. This is an issue that came up at our general membership meeting. It is of epidemic proportion. I think that the greatest problem here is that ultimately we will not be able to renew our insurance coverages. And I think that would be a disaster for this community. Making claims on our insurance to pay for these water leaks doesn't solve the problem. It actually exacerbates the problem. I'd rather we not make a claim because we need the rest of the coverage too. And if we get to the point where we cannot renew our coverages, this community's value is going to go down dramatically. I think this is a problem that needs immediate attention. I am led to believe that it'll be extremely costly and very complicated. So that means we got to get started on it right away. And the funding of it is something that I don't know anything about, but I now am not speaking for the GVA. I'm speaking for myself. If I had to pay a couple dollars extra a month in assessments in order to solve this problem, it would be a great investment for me personally. I think you know I usually offer help. I don't just ask you to jump and do things and walk away without my having any responsibility. And I require the same thing of the members of the GVA. You got to help. And I offer help. I'm willing to sit on a committee. I'm willing for the GVA to participate in this. It's a problem that needs to be solved, and we would like to help do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart. Is there, what, no, wait, we answer at the end, so hang on.
Our next speaker is Susan Frackman.
Morning. First of all, I apologize to all of you for taking the time for these questions that I have. I will explain. I came here a couple of weeks ago across the hall to get some questions answered about my broadband. And the gentleman over there, I had about 3 questions, and he couldn't, well, I don't know if he couldn't, but he told me that he couldn't answer the questions and I had to come to the board. He didn't say what board.
Do you live in Third?
Yes.
All right, well, you started in the right place.
I had no, I didn't, well, so I said, when is the board meeting, whatever he was talking about? And he said, I don't know. You'll have to check at the front desk. And today's meeting is what I was given. I asked, excuse me, I think for the GRF board, I'm not sure if that's, anyway, here I am. So I don't know whether to go ahead and ask you these questions about broadband, or is there another resource for me?
Yeah, Siobhan.
Generally, we don't answer in the middle of it, but we're going to defer to Siobhan. right
Ma'am,
now.
I would like to have Chuck Holland, our Information Technology Director, just meet with you directly if that's amenable to you, and I'll try to schedule that for tomorrow.
Is there any way is there any way that someone could meet with her now that she's here and at least get the questions?
Yeah.
Yes, we can do that.
Unfortunately, tomorrow's not a good day anyway.
Right, so perhaps someone could just meet with her now.
But I also think it's important that you all know
Okay.
what's going on across the hall, too, with the answers we're getting, or in this case, not getting.
Thank you very much.
Madam Chairperson, is it okay if we could hear the question just for our edification, not to respond, but I'd like, we've been talking about cable issues. I'd love to know what.
Yeah, but in technicality, those are all GRF
Well, I can
issues.
give you 2 of them. One
Okay.
of them's personal, so I'd rather not air it here.
Okay, good.
But One has to do with the change in the format for the guide, for everything. I and my fellow old people have trouble seeing it. I don't know why, it wasn't broken, so they fixed it. Also, I cannot set up an automatic payment on the website. So that is technical, but it seems to me I should be able to do that. And the third question I'll reserve.
Okay, so we apologize, and so there are a few things that we have to deal with. Number one, we have our Resident Services Department, and they are supposed to take care of our residents. So that is an issue that Siobhan will have to work with, but also, who is she? Is Eileen going to talk to her now?
Eileen is making arrangements for someone to come down and speak
Okay,
with
so if you just wait in the audience for a minute or two, our communications director will be getting you help, okay?
Thank you
And
very
thank you
much.
for coming to us.
Well, and thank you all for the job you do.
Thank
For
you.
all of us.
Is there anyone else?
Yes, our next speaker is Linda Lung.
Hi, Linda. Welcome.
I have a complaint about a tree that we request to be removed back in last year, September. It was removed, but it's not in a proper way, leaving the stem underground, and now new branches start to grow. I think sooner or later it will grow again.
Okay, so you're in Unit 4, you're at 4007?
4072G. And
Okay.
we were all the units from our manors agree, apply for the cutting of the tree. Usually, I think, when they cut the tree, it's not that high. They will cut all the branches, leaving the stem about 10 feet high. And with two strong men, they can push forward and backward, left or right, to loosen the wood. And then finally, the wood will come out. But instead, they just cut it. I think they quote the price is expensive.
Okay,
500.
well, we will definitely
Yeah.
look into that.
So we hope the root can be taken out so that we can grow some colorful flowers in that spot.
Okay, we will definitely go into it, and our committee chair will get back to you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else?
No, that's it.
Okay, so, what?
Chair, the median is here. Could you? She came late, but
The
she's-
media is now in the room. Hi, media. Okay, so now we would address the questions. We don't have to address Chris because we've already thanked her. So the next. So the issue that we would have to deal with is Stewart. And let me start and then I'll turn it over. First of all, there should be no reason for your lights not to have been put back on because we have a program, an entire plan as to what's supposed to be done with power outage. And that was one of the big parts of it because when the power goes out, the lights have to be put back on. So I don't know what happened. So Siobhan, do you have something to say?
Yes, Ernesto is having an electrician check on it right now, and he will get back to Stuart and everybody with an update.
Okay, but the thing is what we have to look at is the fact that we had numerous requests. And where did it go awry? Because we have a plan, so the plan should have been followed. I don't know how many power outages there were, but the plan should have been followed. But then when it was reported, it should have been done. So it'll be taken care of right away.
I can add that Bill 2405 has the same problem.
Okay. So if anyone else out in the audience who is watching this has any problems with their lights not being turned on, I was going to tell them to call Stuart, but I don't think that's the right thing to say. Who should they contact? Because I don't want to say Resident Services because I'll get scared, but you tell me, Resident Services?
They can contact Catherine Laster for
All right,
immediate
so-
assistance.
Catherine Laster.
I've asked for a poll of the buildings under Garden Villa, and hopefully I'll have some information, send it to you.
Please.
Okay, so that part's done, but now I'm going to turn for the next part of your question, which has to do with water intrusion of sorts. Kush, do you have something that you'd like to say?
No, I was going to ask that we can have a side meeting and get to the bottom of this and take care of it, because water leaks is a bad thing. Can I talk to you now or later?
Anytime you like. I'm here for you.
Okay.
So, but to go back to something, Stuart, I think, and Kush will follow up on it, but we are putting more effort into water intrusion issues with the waste line, with the copper pipes. And the biggest thing would be for Kush to talk to you and find out what what the major complaints are for you, because we also have a lot of water intrusion issues that are caused by the residents. Residents, because Steve has the hearings, and it's for people refusing to, not changing their water heaters, and suddenly we have water intrusion and you get it because it's the floor above you or whatever, and we have water intrusion because of water heaters. So I think that and then the person really who caused the water intrusion is responsible, and they should put it over to your insurance. It shouldn't be covering, their insurance. It shouldn't be coming from your insurance. But I know that there's a real problem with this. We just get really, the water heaters are probably the biggest issue that we have. So I know that we're always trying to work with Ernesto, who is the head of maintenance and construction, to say, where are the leaks? What is causing the water intrusion? What are we doing to mitigate this? So I believe that you talking to Kush, if you can give us another insight, that would be very valuable, because we certainly don't, all of us are residents of Third, don't want anything to happen with any cause problems with insurance because of claims. So we are really working on it. So if you could follow up and then get back to all of us, it would be excellent. So thank you.
And a further comment on that. Our budget last year for wasteline remediation was $750,000, and water and copper was $100,000. Before you talk to me, you might get from Steve what our budget is for this year.
Jack.
From Jack.
Oh,
Well, we know, we sort of know what the budget is, but the basic thing, we do know, but the basic thing is we have to know, and this will be input from Stuart, who is the president of the Garden Village Association, what are the causes of this? I wish we could do something with people's water heaters, but we have made a change so that when you sell a unit, if your water heater is at 10 years, we're requiring you to change it. So, but we certainly can't send staff into all of the units and, check on the water heaters. But that's one of the big things, but I don't know what the other things are, so.
We are working on several different ways to tackle this and get it done so that.
But it's not only that. So the thing is it'll be fabulous to talk to Stuart and get his
Sure.
input and then get back to us. Okay, so at this point, are there any other comments that we have for the open forum? Okay, all right.
Yes.
Yes, James.
Well, for this Linda Liang about the tree issue, she left, but I want to tell her that, please, did she make any written request to resident services?
Well, you could contact her because we have her contact information. So we should contact her.
Okay,
Okay.
well, actually, the staff, I'll let Larry know.
All right,
Thank you.
so, okay, so we are finished with the open forum, and now we are finished with the responses. So now we would be getting our update from VMS, from Director Tao, who many of you might remember because she used to be on the board, third board, and now she's on the VMS board. So welcome, Ms. Tao, Mrs. Tao.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I also still is the vice for the finance committee.
As of today. What are we going to do?
As Rosemary mentioned, that we have
What are we going to do with this?
we have selected a CEO,
I've sent a message
Jeff
to Jack.
Parkers,
We're gonna
and
discuss this
he's
this
going to
afternoon.
start
Can't discuss
on
it. We have
February
to vote
4th.
on it this afternoon.
And so far,
So does
all the
Betty have to
responses
write something?
I've
We
got,
have to vote on it.
have heard,
If
has
we're
all
gonna
been
take the
very
money from
positive.
reserve.
And one of the key roles and responsibility for a VMS board is to develop a strategic plan. A strategic plan set the vision and the direction of a corporation. So today I would like to share what is our current VMS strategic plan and some updates. And this plan, as you can see on the slides, this plan was developed in, I think it's 2017. It still is the current plan. And there are no timeline associated with these goals, but they will be revisited and revised as needed. So there are 4 strategic plan goals. Number 1 is to provide exemplary customer services. Under this goal, there are 17 subpoints, which are actually the 17 action items, and tell what, when, who, what to do this action item. And number 2 goal is to facilitate efficient operations, and there are 21. I'm just going to do very top summary level. Underneath this, there are 21 subpoints, 21 action items. Number 3 is provide a safe community, and there are 16 action items. Number 4 is to become an employer of choice, and there are 9 action items. Number 5 is to provide transparent communications. There are 19 action items underneath this goal. And I would like to update some of the action plan that is been just updated recently. And the first one is to, under the service, there is take steps necessary to centralize incoming departmental telephone calls into resident services. So they added another objective to include calls for various departments, including transportation. So it's not just to resident service, including various other departments. And secondly is the finance department will be implementing a credit card. So pretty soon that resident will be able to pay their assessment and chargeable service via credit cards. Number 3 is I think Jiwan probably will go to more detail. They are going to implement gate access arms, and that work will start in early 2019. The next action item update is that we have done a compensation study. It was completed for the union and non-union positions. And that information was used to negotiate a very favorable compensation requirement in the new union contract. And next one, finance will start to review the internal control, hire outside consultant to do an internal control audit to make sure we have proper internal control in place. And that is still in the testing stage and review stage. It will be start testing in 2019. And this one, I think, is duplicated, so next page. So this plan was evaluated by the 3 mutual boards. And this plan evaluation was given to VMS. The evaluation was chaired by our dear 3rd Mutual Board President, Rose Marie. And so I would like to just go over quickly on very top summary level how the mutual board evaluate VMS performance. And the evaluation of action items were rated in 4 categories. 1 is consistently above standard. 2 is consistent. 3 in progress. And 4 needs improvement. So I summarize all the evaluation on these 4 each categories. There were 3 items in the consistently above standard, 15 consistent, in progress 32, and needs improvement 13. So probably the scorecard is, I would say, below average. So lots of room for improvement. And we, VMS board, will work with the senior executives and the staff for improvement plan, and we will be working on that. Recommendation. As you can see, the strategic plan goal, there's no timeline, no specific. So we will be trying to work with the CEO, update strategic plan to have SMART goals. SMART means specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. And next recommendation is create dashboard summary for key performance indicator, not just the financial measurement, but also non-financial measurement. As we can hear today, all these audience comments all about services. So we need to establish our service performance measurements. How long does it take to call? What's the problem resolution time? How many times they have to call? And where to send the information? Right now we don't know. If people just don't know where to go, and so that is a key thing that the staff and VMS have to put together a process for complaint, for repair request, or even recommendation. And the board will keep track of the measurement and make sure they get improvement and get responded as quick as possible. And thirdly, to conduct annual management operation performance audit. There was a audit done, performance operation audit done in 2015, in December of 2015. That was done by Water and Company. And this was my personal recommendation. I recommend we make it as a policy to have a performance audit on an annual basis. And that's the reason I bring it up. It needs money because we want to hire outside expert, consultant to do an annual audit to make recommendation. And that will be it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Wei Ming. I guess we have a lot to do, but
Not we, but the VMS.
right. Okay,
Well,
so
can I make
yes,
one comment?
certainly.
You know, Wei Ming, I really thank you so much. I think this is exactly what a VMS board of directors should do instead of robbing, our CEO's job. Previously, well, now things, the rest are not here. They're coming here and says, oh, last week, this month, VMS did this. That's a CEO's job, not VMS director's job. So this is a great example what a VMS director should be. Thank you.
So we're very glad that we voted for Wei Ming.
Yes.
Okay. Speaking of voting, and I'm going to turn this over to Siobhan, but we did vote for a new director onto GRF, and that director was Judith Troutman, who was a resident of Third. She had been on Third Board, and she got a tremendous number of votes, and we wish Judith a lot of luck in her position. If she ever needs anything, we're here for her. The other thing, before I turn this over, because I had this and I didn't do it, is are you going to talk about Code Red? No. All right. All of you got this Code Red form in your annual, I have to do this, in your annual packet. I lost mine, but you're able, if you can't find it, can pick it up at the front desk, and this is very important to fill this out and to get this in. And what is it for, Siobhan?
The village has an emergency notification system called Code Red. We send brief, urgent text messages, emails, and/or telephone calls in times of emergency.
So if people fill out this form, then we know how to add them to the list to contact them.
That is
Right.
correct.
Okay. And if they don't fill out the form, what happens?
They will not be contacted by the
So
emergency
it is
notification
very
system.
important. And again, the forms are sitting, or they were, on the front desk, so you could just go pick it up if you can't find yours. So
And
please
I
get it
believe
in.
it can be filled out online as well.
And it can, thank you, or it could be filled out online. Okay, so now we are going to turn this over to Siobhan. Thank you very much.
Honorable President, members of the board, it's my honor to give the CEO update this morning. I wanted to start with a storm update. As you're aware, we had a Pacific storm move in Sunday and then another one again yesterday. A larger storm is forecasted for Wednesday and Thursday of this week. I just want to remind our residents, if they have any storm-related issues, they should call resident services during business hours, and that number is 949-597-4600, and security after hours. Their number is 949-580-1400. And in the event of an emergency, dial 911. This morning, it's my privilege to announce the start of the gate security project. As the director from VMS mentioned, the construction is going to start on February 4th. And this project provides This project provides the infrastructure necessary for installation of access control gate equipment, cameras, and security management measures at gates 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, and 14. Construction's going to begin on Monday, February 4th, again at gates 2 and gate 8. Gate 2 is in United Mutual, and gate 8 is in Third Mutual. Construction hours are going to be 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturdays. Gates 2 and 8 will be closed to vehicles during construction, but open to pedestrians. Alternative vehicle access for Gate 2 will be through Gates 1 and 3, and alternate vehicle access for Gate 8 will be through Gates 10 and 7. Maps are available at all gatehouses, as well as resident services if residents are in need of maps to help them navigate the closures. The construction will then progress to additional gates once work is completed at Gates 2 and 8. Sequencing is as follows. Phase 2 will include Gates 3 and 7. Phase 3, Gates 1 and 9. Phase 4, Gates 4 and 14. And the final gate for this project is Gate 10. I also want to let everyone know that the Easy Rider fixed route bus system is temporarily expanding its reach. Yesterday, on January 14th, the Willow Tree Center Aldi stop was added as a fixed stop on all west routes on a trial basis. This additional stop was the result of a feedback from our residents and will be evaluated by the Transportation Division for 60 days to determine if this is going to become a permanent stop on our system. We've had some questions about 2019 parking decals. Resident Services is in the process of mailing out the 2019 parking decals. If you've not yet received your decal, please be advised that there is a 1-month extension period through February for the 2018 parking decals. So there's no need to worry if you haven't received yours yet. And for more information, you can contact Resident Services, but everyone should have their decals by the end of this month. I also want to announce the Lunar New Year celebration that will take place on Sunday, January 27th at the Performing Arts Center. This is a free multicultural fair that begins at 11 a.m. featuring entertainment and finger foods. And then tickets for the evening 6:30 main performance are on sale at the Performing Arts Center box office for $10 to $15 a piece. And then lastly, I'd like to just remind everyone that we will be implementing enhanced security measures in this building at the end of this month. This will ensure greater protection of confidential records and both village and resident records that are kept in the building, as well as help safeguard those who visit and work in the community center. Measures include second floor access being limited to board members, advisors, and authorized staff, and meetings that include residents and visitors will be held on the first floor whenever possible. And that concludes my update this morning.
Rosemary, can I ask a question?
Thank you very much. And James has a question.
Chiffon, you know, last Friday, everyone that I know of got a call from a security, says there is some unplanned power outage. But I asked everyone, they said, no, not me. So where was that power outage?
It was our building.
The power outage, the power outage was in both United and Third. It was pretty widespread initially, and then Edison was able to restore all but one building, and that building was off until about noon.
Thanks.
And I might add, there were intersections out throughout the community, and so that was the part of the impetus for alerting everyone, just so that they were aware of the outage and could be safe as they travel around the community.
Thanks. Thank you.
You know, speaking of power out, and John is next, and then you're next, there's a sign on El Toro that says signal lights are not working. I mean, I know you didn't put it there, but obviously the city put it there, but I don't know why it's there, because the signal lights are working, and it's like, you know, they're lit up. So could someone check that out? Because, you know, people, maybe it's distracting, you're absolutely right. Maybe people are expecting them to not work, and then they're working. Maybe they just forgot it. So, but John, you're next.
Yes, Siobhan, we'll be sharing those elevators with the third floor folks. Is there a protocol that you would like to discuss with us regarding getting off at the second floor?
Everyone with an access card for the second floor will be able to use that to get off on the second floor. Otherwise, the elevators will stop at the first floor and the third floor only.
And
I think what John is asking, though, and I'm not your interpreter, is if you get on and somebody gets on and they get off on the second floor and you don't think that they should be there. You know, we're not, right, that's what you're asking. So what then? We're not going to accost them.
No, our staff is trained and notified. There will be a security guard stationed on the first floor at the concierge desk. Our staff will be trained to notify the security guard, and he'll come on up and see if he can help them figure out where their business is in the community center.
So if it's one of us in the elevator, we'll call the security guard, or we'll go over to somebody on the staff and tell them?
You can do that, or you can encourage them to travel to the third floor or the first floor.
Or we can tell them to go to your office. All right, good, okay.
One more question. I tried to come in on Sunday to pick up materials, and my card wouldn't work on the second floor.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
You don't have the right card yet.
Oh.
Security will let you
Security
out
is one of those.
if you have your ID with you.
All board members will be issued new cards for the system before it's implemented.
Kush,
Yes. Question about the gate arm thing. You said when they are working, they will not be able to use one side or the other?
I said during construction, gates 2 and 8 will be closed to vehicular traffic and only open to pedestrians.
Okay.
Use alternate gates.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get some more information because they're not going to affect me until it gets to the 7 or the 9.
well, there are maps that will be available, so you'll know how to
It
get
doesn't
home.
have, that's not the problem. That's not the problem. I'm just trying to clarify this so whoever's hearing it will be able to understand this better.
Who?
Whoever is hearing this,
Right.
yes.
If you can tell me a particular gate you're concerned about, I can tell you where the alternate access will be.
No, that's not the point. And after the construction is over at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, will that gate be usable?
Gates will be closed to vehicular access during construction.
The complete period? Oh, okay. That's what I wanted to hear. Thank
And
you.
how long, how long will construction take for a gate, for example?
Approximately 6 weeks
Per gate?
per phase of the project. So for gates 2 and 8,
Okay.
the timeline is approximately 6 weeks.
Oh, got it. Okay.
It's not 3 and 3, it's 6 and 6. I mean, 6 simultaneously.
Correct.
Okay, got it now?
Wow. What will you do for 14, gate 14? There's only one in
I'm
and out.
gonna have to walk, because it's only closed to vehicles. We'll
Awesome.
just all walk up.
Good job, yeah.
3 of us here.
Actually, the solution for gate 14, it will be constructed in halves. So one half will be open at any given time.
Okay. That's what I was trying to get.
All right. There are 2 people next to you who live there. Okay, so we are now, thank you very much for your report, and thank you for the excellent job you do taking care of the community. So now, we have the consent calendar, and the consent calendar has had one item removed. D has been moved to unfinished business because we want to discuss it. So do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar as amended?
So move.
Second? Any discussion? Okay, all those in, oh, we're voting. Let's use this. We won't need it. I didn't use my special pen.
Yep.
Well, 2, 4.
Director Jared, did you, just give me your verbal vote.
Excuse me.
Actually,
Lynn,
Oh,
doesn't
got
your
it,
screen
got it,
work?
Got it. Got it.
Okay.
My first
All
time
right.
using this thing.
So there. It has passed. All right. So now we will move over to number 12, which is unfinished business. So the first item on unfinished business is A1, which is the third committee and GRF appointments. Could we put versions on this? Like this is version 41?
We need to.
We have resolution numbers and.
Okay, good. All right, so we need a motion to approve this, and then we would discuss.
I move we approve.
Second? All right, Steve? All right, any comments? Okay, yes, Steve?
Okay, on the Architectural Standards and Control Committee, I've asked Siobhan if she would be a staff advisor, and she graciously accepted. I think this is significant, is how the chief inspector has moved to a new position, and she can add some continuity to our proceedings.
Okay, well, she could be an advisor on any committee. I mean, or all of them.
Yeah, I just want her name showing, so there's responsibility there.
Is she a voting advisor or a non-voting advisor?
Non-voting. Staff doesn't vote. So it's
So
non.
I list her as staff? Is that the
Staff
way you want to
advisor,
see
yeah.
it? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, any other things we want to add or subtract from this? I thought we wanted to add,
James has something.
what?
The 12D, the new one, you know, we need to discuss on the GRF committee appointments. In particular, because Lane, the chair, is in our landscape committee, and she wants to get more opportunity to learn.
So we
We've
want to
added
take
her.
you off
We've
and
already
put
added
our,
her.
But just add Lane Chair as a.
She's-
second
She's on
person
there.
In the landscape committee.
she's there as an alternate.
She's there as an alternate,
Okay,
James.
This is for GRF.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
that's what we're talking about.
Oh,
GRF
this,
is-
Is not there.
That's the
Jay-
old version. Look at the yellow version.
Look at the yellow one.
Oh, okay.
Just as alternate.
Well, okay, well, I want to move her up to
So
just behind me.
who, so we're going to remove John and put Lynn on?
Yeah,
Is that what
because
you're
John,
doing?
you were too busy already, right? You, so many committees.
Okay, well, all right, all
Her
right.
as our alternative.
John will be an alternate. Okay, we're good. I was thinking we were just going to put John on every committee.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That would be his T-shirt, would say, "On all committees." Okay, right,
Let me get this straight. John's the alternate and
Right.
Lynn is the main.
right. Okay, so are there any other changes on this? This is your opportunity here. Nothing? There are no more advisors that have to be added? Nothing?
I think we covered everything.
So, okay, so we have had those few little edits. We have a motion to approve. And so now we would say,
Approve
all,
as amended.
approve, thank you. We need a motion to approve as amended.
Just make-
Okay, he made it. Second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
No.
Okay, so for this month, this is approved.
Yes, for this month.
For this month. All right, good. All right, so the next thing, so now we're going to go to 12A2. And who is going to do that? Is that you, Roy?
That's me.
Okay.
We have three resolutions that were on 30-day review, and the 30 days is up, and now we need to vote on them for a final time. 12A relates specifically to window and window attachments, and the main change here is that we've eliminated wrought iron grills on windows from the standard, and if anybody wants to put wrought iron grills or windows, they have to get a variance from the Architecture Committee and the board. So I move approval of this resolution.
Second.
But this is, okay. So the initial was in November, so we passed the 30 days.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, okay.
Should we take a vote, or we need a vote on these?
Yes.
All right,
I
so-
second it.
All those, so here we are, vote.
Okay, here we go.
Lynn, you did it? Okay, good. 2 people are napping.
Director Carpenter and Director Bada.
It's a yes. Can you please mark it for me?
Yes.
It's right here.
Director Carpenter,
Here you go.
can we have
You
your
got it.
vote?
Okay,
It's way to the left.
It's way over to the left.
right to the left, right under Roy, it
under
says
Roy.
yes.
There.
Yeah.
Got it? Okay,
Okay, 12B, this is a new standard for fences, fences related to vinyl. Standard 45, a new standard for fencing that uses alternative building materials.
and these are fences for people's individual homes. It's not our dividing fences.
That's
Correct.
correct, yes. Again, it has been on 30-day review since November, and we need to take a vote, so I move approval.
Second.
Okay, so vote, please. Okay, it has passed
It has
with 11 yeses. Am I supposed to read what it says, or are you supposed to read what it says, or it's just recorded because it's there? All right, good. Okay, C.
C, 12C. This is a revision to an existing policy for LH21 storage rooms. The main change is a paragraph which emphasizes that storage rooms in these buildings are not to be locked.
Well, that has been for a long time.
That has been, but this is an additional paragraph that simply emphasizes that fact because some folks have surreptitiously in the dark of night put locks on some of these things.
Okay.
So I move approval.
Second.
So we.
Here we
okay,
go.
good.
Getting very high tech.
Yeah. works.
Okay, Stuart, you got your resolution. Or your updated
Your
resolution. Okay, so now we're going to move over to new business. The new thing for this year, the law was changed, so now we won't have to carry any of these for 2 months to get to the 30 days. We didn't change the law was changed by the legislature. So from now on, there's notification must postpone for 28 days. So that means if we bring something up, or if we have a resolution brought up at this meeting, we will be able to review it the next month. But remember, we do bring it up at this meeting so that people, board members, residents, have an opportunity to look at this and to send in any comments before it goes for approval. So, and the only reason why it was changed to 28 days is because it's 28 days usually from one board meeting to another. So with that introduction, it's all yours, Roy.
This is a resolution to make a revision to our open house and real estate uniform signage policy. We've had that policy on the books since 2012. And we're doing it to make it compliant with the new California Bureau of Real Estate requirements that went into effect early in 2018. And basically, what it says is that we're going to highlight the license number of the real estate agent on the sign, and there's some other requirements too in terms of font size and so forth. We will put this on 28-day review, and I guess we don't make a motion, do we?
No, not when it's
Okay.
on 28-day review.
Not
So-
28-day review.
So, we have a question, Bunny?
On the resolution 3/12/21, where it says placement of real estate signs, okay? And I know that that's not a subject of this meeting, but this one needs to be modified because it does not include having a sign at the entrance of breezeways. And years ago, I remember we had a big discussion about that. So it says that you can have a sign at a manor window, you can have it adjacent to a wall or on a gate of subject manor. Well, the breezeways for La Brisa's, does not hit any of those. And they like to put that sign right in front so it can be seen.
So, Siobhan, whose
Eileen.
baby is this? Is this?
It's Eileen's.
Eileen.
And she's coming up to the microphone.
So I think the biggest thing for us as residents is where the signs could be. I know you're following the rules as to what the signs have to look like, and I don't question that because you're very thorough. But
only
where
thing
they're
actually-
supposed to be
Yeah.
is a big issue, is a big concern.
Right.
And so we really have to understand where they can be. And when they're not there, when we see them elsewhere, what do we do?
Well, first of all, I want to make sure everybody realizes that GRF has a set of placement rules that's separate from the mutuals, because open house signs are generally going to be placed on GRF properties, and there's very strict restrictions there. There can be one in the median, there can be one at the entry to the cul-de-sac. There can't be any more than 3 per open house. So that's a GRF. That's how they're looking at this resolution. For the 2 mutuals, we have changed nothing except for the standardization of the signs themselves. These are, we didn't go through and make any changes in placement. Nothing is being rescinded from the resolution that is being superseded. It's my understanding that the placement includes, it can be in the lawn, in front, there's a certain amount of feet from the house, or it can be in the window, or it can be on the railing in certain cases. As far as breezeways, there was nothing in the resolution from however many, the resolution's in your packet there.
I know, I read it through, and it doesn't have any mention of it. And the breezeways where that impacts is on the La Brisa models.
And so they wouldn't be the sign would not be put in the lawn right in front of the breezeway? Okay.
Well, there's a hedge, right in front of the breezeways.
Right, so in other words, in some models,
Yeah.
if you have a hedge there and you put it on the lawn, you would have to jump over the hedge to see it. It wouldn't make sense.
Well, it would go
So-
outside the hedge, I would think. in
Well,
that
it
case, but-
depends on if the hedge is to
Yeah.
the edge. So I think that's something that we could look
Yeah.
at. Is there any like cheat sheet that has
Yes.
both?
Yes, there's going to be a policy sheet that's actually what's handed out to the realtors, because we're not going to hand them the resolution and expect them to translate it. So there is a set of policies kind of written.
So once these pass, there's going to be a document that incorporates both the housing mutual and GRF rules, so that Because that would be very
In fact,
good.
I believe it's the last page of that part of the packet. If you look at it, it's policies, and it'll be put on a nice letterhead. And it will refer the actual resolutions once we have the numbers for them when they've all passed.
Okay.
So we could certainly put a breezeway, I guess we could do two things, and I would defer to Siobhan on this. We would either, if it's an issue, then we'll have to research it. We can add a line to this when you vote on it after 28 days, I would imagine, or we could put it in the policies.
Well, the thing is you'd have to decide if you had to have one that said, if a hedge prohibits putting the sign on the lawn, you could do such and such. But we would have to make any changes that we would want to make within the 28 days, so that when we vote on it, we would have that correction there. So this is the time to get questions to you.
Yeah, so I
in
guess,
person.
my answer would be, one of us one of my group gets to go out and take some photos of some breezeways where this would be a challenge, and then, come back and provide probably that one sentence of wording.
Okay.
And then,
Steve, you had something?
Yeah, my question is, how soon are these signs taken up?
we're trying, you mean from when they're
Removed.
illegally? Well,
Yeah.
the open house signs have to be down by 5 o'clock that day. They're subject to removal anytime
Okay.
after that. The other signs, obviously, upon close of escrow or the lease going through, they should be removed. If they're not, they are being confiscated by security.
Yeah, because I've seen some sit out there for like 2 months, something like that, and it's like they're advertising that they did something.
Of course, the
Yeah.
realtors don't want to
Yeah,
take them down.
that's right.
So,
So we just
Yeah.
call security to have them taken
Yeah.
up? Okay.
So if a real estate agent consistently, or a company consistently ignores our sign policy, what do we do?
probably going to get a compliance letter. I think.
It would go through the compliance
Compliance,
process.
Well, that would, so it would, but who's, there, I always have to ask a question that's
right.
like annoying. Whose compliance is it going to go through? It really
Yeah.
isn't GRF, it could be third.
It would depend on the location of the sign, or where the predominance of the problem is. And several compliance letters have been sent reminding folks of the rules, and that's been very effective.
So, because I don't see that you're gonna, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what the recommendation is, because if somebody constantly ignores the rules, could they be fined? We generally don't,
Well, losing your signs is expensive. And in the past, they were held at security, and you had to pay a $25 fine to get them back. And we haven't stipulated that at this point.
okay, so
but-
that's gonna be part of your plan? Okay.
But I will tell you that my experience, and I think Siobhan's is as well, the realtors are quite good at self-policing each other.
Yeah.
It's interesting. We'll get, calls or notified that, so-and-so didn't take their signs down. And I think it'll probably become even stronger once they're uniform signs.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. So
Any
are
more
we
questions?
okay?
So we'll look into that.
Okay, so if there be any corrections, it'll be for next month. All right, so the next one, Roy?
The next one, 13B, has been removed,
Okay, so then
so
we
we're
are.
good
we
good
are
to go.
Finished with that. Because it has to do with changes in fees, and any changes in fees. First of all, nobody on the board ever even, we didn't really discuss it. Suddenly it appeared here, and generally we would discuss it as finance because there has to be a balance. Something can't go up 300%.
I agree.
So that's why it was pulled.
have a speech ready.
Well, see, I should have called. So we removed it, and it will go to finance with the proper, so it does not go into close today, it's going to the finance meeting. And I don't know who put this here, what department did, I won't say, but the thing is that we do have procedures that we follow. So, okay, so we are up to, my goodness, committee reports, but before we say that, I want to say happy birthday to James Tung.
Oh, that's right.
John Pearlstone, Lynn Jarrett, and myself. It's all our birthdays this month.
My goodness.
And we're all the same age. We're John's age.
Yes.
So happy birthday. So,
Could I make one comment?
yes.
Of course.
You know, long
That I
time
look
ago,
younger? No.
way back when I don't know, 9 years old, when I moved from mainland China to Taiwan, somehow they just recorded everything wrong.
So it's not your birthday?
My real birthday in the Chinese calendar was January 21st. And that corresponding to the year I was born was March 7th. So somehow they took a wrong combination, make it January 7th. So I really don't celebrate my birthday this day, but that's okay. Thank you.
Twice. Celebrate twice.
Okay, so in any case, so now we will go over to committee reports. The first report is the report of the Finance Committee with our,
Before I begin that, I understand that you're all too young to qualify for residency here.
we.
We'll
I
look
was gonna
into
say
that.
we're caretakers. No.
Right.
Okay.
Are we ready with the slides? Okay. Okay, total revenue for 3rd through November 30th was $31,131,000, compared to expenses of $28,787,000, leaving an overage of $2,344,000. That's always good news. Now, slide 2, looking at the same results with a distinction between operating and reserve funds. The chart shows how much of our revenue went into operations, with $17,306,000 coming from assessments and $1,323,000 coming from non-assessment revenue, which is, billable services and things like that. This is compared to operating expenditures of $19,133,000. After backing out depreciation, which is not funded through operations, we can see the bottom line of a deficit of $370,000 as of this reporting period. The deficit primarily results from more water usage for irrigation at the beginning of the year to improve the appearance of landscaping. Slide 3. This chart shows how much of our revenue went into reserve funds and the amount expended to date. Slide 4. Through November, 3rd was better than budget by $2,362,000, primarily in outside service reserve programs. Building structures, the GRF M&C Committee recommended awarding a contract for 15 buildings. A contract was approved at the November board meeting and work began in mid-December. On the disaster fund, which provides for emergency expenditures not covered by insurance, including insurance policy deductibles, the budget was based on historical data and to date, more reimbursable expenses and fewer rain leaks occurred than budgeted. When that happens, we're lucky or unlucky. It's always a guess. Exterior lighting. This program for the acquisition of streetlights from Edison, which was approved by the California Public Utility Commission. Prior to transfer, SCE will complete an audit of fixtures, and we anticipate that done in the end of the first quarter of this year. Roof replacements. PVC cool roof replacements were in progress as of November, and the work was completed by the end of last calendar year. Slide 5. As on the pie chart, we see operating expenses to date of $19.1 million by category, showing that our largest categories for expense are, of course, employee compensation and utilities. Slide 6. The reserve balances on November 30, 2018 were $30.9 million. To date, contributions to reserves, including assessments and interest earnings, totaled $12.5 million, and expenditures to date total $9.7 million. In the closed session, we reviewed delinquencies for unpaid assessments totaling $257,000, which represents less than 1% of the annual assessment budget. We're able to maintain a relatively low level of delinquencies by following prescribed collection processes, to pursue payments of the accounts either through non-judicial foreclosure process or by obtaining personal judgments in small claims court. The board has been working closely with our collection firm and legal counsel to pursue further collection activity for unpaid accounts. We also reviewed delinquencies for fines, fees, and charitable services totaling $208,000. The board is pursuing further collection activities such as cable TV disconnection and small claims. I would like to add that our Finance Committee will be meeting on February 5th in this room at 1:30 p.m., and it is an open meeting. Residents are invited. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Jack. The next report will be the report of the Architecture Controls and Standards Committee.
Okay, we actually met in December and did some good work there. We are starting not only to look at new standards and updating standards, but also looking into new materials and bringing forth ideas for consideration. So we're pressing on. Our next meeting will be on January 28th at 9:30 here in the boardroom.
Okay, thank you. So we're not adding standards. What we're doing is we're taking standards and trying to move them into the present year age.
Yeah, and if we find something that
obsolete.
hasn't been covered, then we deal with it.
Okay, thank you. All right, so the next item on the list is the report of the Maintenance and Construction Committee. Mr. Bada?
Thank you, Madam Chair. We had our meeting on January 7th this month, and I'd like to note that the cul-de-sac and building sign project is moving right along. We have new cul-de-sac signs in Gate 14 and most of Gate 7 and 9 area, and also in the Gate 5 area.
And 6.
And 6, that's good to know. I haven't been around it. Street light is coming, and we are in the final stages of the approval from Southern California Edison and transferring them to the village management. We have, as soon as that happens, our consulting company Siemens will set up a pilot program whereby we will be able to see what they are recommending and the quality of the new lighting will be. As seen on the Village Breeze and also mentioned by Shawan earlier, we will be starting with the new gate arm process. So our security for the village will be in an improvement stage. And also we are going to receive new coin-operated dryers for the third mutual 3-story buildings and the freestanding laundry rooms, and that will start on the first week of February. In the meantime, our M&C department is going to do a thorough cleaning of the laundry rooms and painting if necessary and bringing those areas up to speed. So when you receive the new dryers, they will look really nice and spiffy. Our next meeting for the M&C department is going to be March 4th, 2019 at 1 p.m. in the boardroom.
So,
Thank you.
And so an important part about the dryers is that the dryers and the washers are now all going to be on platforms, that's correct? Which is, except for the ones where, in the freestanding where the washers are already on a slight platform. So that's very important, because that has been a constant request by our residents, so that's going to happen. And the other thing is that staff is working with Eileen, so we're going to make sure that the people are notified and the downtime is going to be minimized. It's not going to be like,
The downtime is going to be almost nothing. The
Right.
same day installed, the day they removed the dryers,
Correct.
they would install them, unless it is some real reason that they couldn't do
Right.
it. Yes.
But, so the thing is, and I believe that we were doing like 2-week or notification, so that you know that we're going to be here. I believe it's 2 weeks too, on this day doing this. And they've been much tighter with that. So, so that's going to be part of it. Okay, so the next, so the.
Further on M&C, please.
Yes.
The M&C committee approved and sent to the board a request to approve the consultant proceeding with a pilot.
That'll be on the Energy Task Force
Well, the decision was made.
at MNC.
At M&C.
Right.
To proceed with a pilot. And then the M&C also said that they wanted the consultant to consider an alternative. And that was also going to come to the, to the board. However, we learned later on in the week at the Energy Task Force that there was a hitch in the get-along, and that while we approved the pilot at 3,000 kelvins, which, by the way, is a measure of color, we also asked for an alternative Kelvin pilot. We learned at the at the GRF energy meeting that the American Medical Association has, and let me read the sentence. AMA's statement recommends that outdoor lighting at night, particularly street lights, should have a color temperature of no greater than 3,000 Kelvin. So the pilot that we recommended, the additional pilot, would have a greater Kelvin rating. And so therefore, it becomes inappropriate.
Right.
And I've discussed it with another member of the M&C committee to ask for that additional pilot because it's not in accordance with the AMA.
And we have already gone over that with Ernesto.
Rosemary, can
So-
I respond to that, if you don't mind?
Yes.
Okay. So we did talk a lot about it, and you're right, John, to an extent, that all the things about the AMA, but we did not ask to have a second pilot. We only asked the
For the
staff
cost
to
of the
find out how much it may cost if we do decide to have a second pilot. So that's the extent of this, what we voted on or decided to do.
And
So-
what I'm suggesting is there's no point in asking that.
Correct, but
And-
we
and
just have the information, we're not doing anything, that's all.
We're asking the consultant to come up with a cost for
No.
a second pilot.
Well,
And there's no point in doing that.
That's fine, but that was like one thing after the other. So we first thought maybe we should have a second pilot, so we
Yes.
need a cost. Then we found out that the light that is suggested by the AMA should not be more than 3,000 Kelvin. So it's like a.
So we're gonna drop the request for the second pilot.
Correct,
Good.
that's right,
I'm a happy camper.
here.
okay, so, and the most important thing about the street light project is the reason why we're doing and we are requiring the streetlights has to do with, well, first of all, it's cost effective because we're paying a lease on it. But the other thing is that it adds to the safety and security of the residents. Because the present streetlights that we have are old style. It's they have no desire, Southern California Edison, to improve any of the lighting, to change any of the fixtures, which might add to the improvement of the lighting. And also, they're very slow on repairing broken streetlights. So for security, not only is it cost effective, because our decisions have to be made on a number of different things, but for the security of the community, it's very important. Plus, sometimes we look at an area and say, oh, what new lights can we put in here because it's not bright enough? Well, this could address a lot of the issues by different lights. So we have a very talented person in charge of our maintenance and construction department. And we also have a top-notch consultant who is going to work with us and say, this is the kind, when we go to do a pilot too, when we get closer to it, what type of light or what type of fixture is going to work best in this area. So when we get closer to doing that, that's going to be part. Yeah, so we'll just update everybody, because we could tell people what street it's on, and people could send in their comments, et cetera. So it's very
Further
important.
MNC comment. Ernesto told us that the Shepherd's Crook had been completed. However, he said that the barbed wire on some of the remaining walls is in bad shape, and the conditional use permit by the city that allowed us to put the Shepherd's Crook up is requiring that if we replace that barbed wire, we have to use Shepherd's Crook.
Well,
Wow.
then that has to be brought up as an entire topic.
Well, it was brought up at the meeting.
Well, I mean, the thing is.
That's a significant thing. That's, whoa. We don't want the
But
damn
this is
Shepherd's
something where he, if he'd have to say, well, we have to, this is a security issue, and we have to put Shepherd's Crook here, and it's going to cost this much. So then they have to come back as the experts who we hire to tell us that has to be
But it's
done.
important that I bring the
Yes,
issue up
okay.
and let the
Right.
folks know that did occur at the MNC meeting, and there's a hitch to get along.
Okay,
Also, we talked about lighting of the walkway lighting. And we're doing 5, 6, 7, and 8 only. And I said, whoa, what about gate 10, 14?
we're not doing, we agreed.
Well, let me finish, please.
Okay.
What about gate 10 and 14? He said, oh, there are no walkways in gate 10 or 14. So we're not doing any lighting in gate 10 or 14.
Okay, we agreed on the level of the board that we weren't going to be adding lighting until we see the results of the street lighting.
Right.
Because the street lighting could improve some areas that might need other kind of lighting. So we said, let's hold on it, and let's not be racing around from area to area. But there are a lot of areas that are dark. We were going to ask people to keep their Christmas lights up, but we couldn't. Because it wasn't a night, but it really, some areas are really dark.
Oh, yeah.
And it really helped it, but, in any case, okay, so can Steve go now? Can Steve take his turn? All right. Thank you very much, John, for caring so much. The report of the Parking and Golf Cart Task Force.
Okay, we had a meeting last year and late last year.
Last year.
Yeah, and we talked about several things that we need to look into, but it requires significant research efforts. And I will need to be talking with staff as to how to approach this and get meaningful data before we can have another meeting. So we don't want to just go in and sit and talk and not do anything.
Absolutely,
So-
because we did the same thing with our water conservation meeting. We said there's no reason to have a meeting unless you have the data that you need to go over it. So we know that there have been some staff changes which are delaying the parking, but we also don't want it to be like a whole year will pass. And so that should be on our critical issues list, that we're not able to ever do anything with this. Okay, so good. So we have no idea as to when the meeting is, but I want to move on that. All right, the report of the Landscape Committee. Soon Lynn will be chairing this committee, but not yet. So we're going to ask
Maybe
Director.
next month.
No, March. This is January.
I said maybe.
No, we agreed. All right, so James, please give your report.
Oh, thank you, Madam Chair. On the landscape, the big event we're going to start this year is to start the turf reduction. In order to save money on the water, we want to reduce a lot of turf. Now, in fact, we started turf reduction, changing the ground cover 3 years ago. However, we don't have a staff time. At that moment, we were not allowed to contract those things out. So the difference now is that since the VMS already renegotiated with the union, a lot of things we can contract out. So this, the first experiment, this is a large area in Gate 14. We're going to do the turf reduction, and because this work, they have to contract out. So it takes a little while to, to come up with the bids and start working. So this is a very exciting, and I assume the Siobhan, the staff already get a letter ready so that when the letter sent out, the resident knows we're not here, their territory. We just want to remove the turf. And that may last 2 or 3 months. Well, that's no other alternative. So that's the big event that we're going to do. And also, because it's such a huge area, also contracting out. So this is serve as a one experiment. We'll find out how much it costs for such a big area. Then we can come up with the cost, and then we can propose putting together a project for the rest of turf reduction and ask for more funds in the future. Second thing I want to do is, this is relate to the Roundup and the pesticides. Although staff did a report for United, and the result was the organic pesticides is very expensive. And Third Mutual, our committee, is not ready to spend that much more money, increase our assessment. Therefore, we ask the staff continue to do the experiment for alternatives. So hopefully it won't be that expensive in giving 2-3 months. Then the committee will make a decision about maybe 2 or 3 months, depending on how fast they complete their experiment. Hopefully, it won't be this expensive as so far staff reported. Only the third things I want to make a comment is in today's consent list, we did approve the residents' the request for change to artificial turf. However, we want to emphasize that artificial turf has to meet our Third Mutual landscape standard, not just a random artificial turf. Also, if in the future, if that today's artificial turf become obsolete, and the resident agrees to update the turf on their expense, not on the Third Mutual. That's the 2 points I want to emphasize. And that's all for the landscape, unless Ling or anyone else want to make more comments?
Yes,
Okay.
For your information, artificial turf is very expensive, and this particular resident had not intended to put in the base underneath the turf that the landscape specification required. And it will be required. You can't just put in the artificial turf. You have to put the base underneath. And she agreed that, yeah, she'll do it.
Yeah, that's part of our standards, so they
Yes.
agree, yeah. Okay.
Okay, any other comments?
Oh, next meeting is February 7th.
Okay,
Landscape Committee meeting.
9 a.m. in the boardroom.
Yes.
Okay, moving right along to the Laguna Woods Village traffic hearings. Director Frankel.
There were 3 parking violations guilty. There were 2 decal guilty violations, 2 registration violations, 1 electric plug-in, 1 abandoned vehicle, 1 stop sign, 1 speeding, and 1 driver's license. All guilty.
Okay, thank you.
The hanging judge.
Okay, report of Communications Committee, Director Bruninghouse.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the third Communications Committee meeting, first of all, meets bi-monthly. We had, our last meeting was on January 9th. It was a good meeting. It was an organizational meeting because we had 2 new members on the committee. And we discussed in depth the breeze and how we're going to contribute to it, and who's going to do the writing and what the deadlines are. And I think we got off to a good start on that. Looks like we're going to have at least 4 articles in the next edition of the breeze. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. We also reviewed and discussed 2 letters that our Communications Department had prepared for fumigation and water usage. As you know, we put a great deal of emphasis on notifying residents when any work is being done in their area, to let them know what's happening, what they need to do, if anything, and when it'll be over, and so forth. And we reviewed the fumigation letter and the water usage letter and made some recommendations and some changes. We'll probably get into that more and more as more and more work gets done and residents get affected. As I said, the next meeting is on March 13th at 1:30 here in the boardroom. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to Energy Task Force, Director Franklin.
And Director Bodditt is on that now also.
We discussed the priorities given to the energy consultant, and the deliverables will be on an improvement plan that they'll come up, which will cover the next 5 to 10 years. And in addition, for Third Mutual, the focus on the energy plan will be on 3-story buildings and carports and EV, electric vehicle structure upgrades. And just as a final thought on energy, how did I find out when we didn't know at the M&C meeting that this AMA thing existed on Kelvin? It turned out that Catherine Freshley was there. She called it up on her cell phone and was telling us about this thing. So she sent me the report. It's a 4-page enclosure that she sent me. The headlines say, "Doctors issue warning about LED streetlights." So if any of you are interested in this 4-page report on Kelvins and why it's not good for your eyes for anything greater than 3,000, I'll be glad to get you a copy. It's kind of interesting.
I don't want to be a, what does I say, someone who always would sort of fight things, a rebel. But doctors will tell you we can't do everything about anything. We're not allowed to read. You shouldn't eat cereal. Don't eat milk. Don't eat fruit. Don't eat lettuce. Whatever. So we have to everything or drink coffee. And here we are having coffee. So the thing is or probably don't go to board meetings when you're a senior citizen. But I don't know. So we just have.
If they say it's hard on your eyes, I think you have to find out why they say that.
And the thing is we are going to not. But sometimes when you watch television, when you watch all of these commercials about all of the things that are, like if you take this drug, you can have 900 other things happen to you. I just always get very wary. But thank you, John.
I won't send you a copy.
Don't. So now we have a report of the Water Subcommittee. I thought, no, you're the chair of it, Jack.
We did not meet in January.
And then that's what you have to say. So it's supposed to be Jack is the chair. We gave him that position right away, but we'll do the other half to you, James. But we did not have the water meeting because we're going to have it in February.
And in February, we're having a representative from the El Toro District talk about conservation. After we get our questions answered, I will ask that she be permitted to speak at the March board meeting. Hopefully, we'll get some impetus to improve our conservation.
So water conservation, we're looking at it from 2 sides. What we can do for water conservation as far as watering, drought retention, et cetera. But on the other side is, although we've talked about the fact that we're in a drought for years and years and years, the water use is consistent. And we have to really make a marked attempt on the part of us, the residents, which is your side of it, to cut down our consumption of water, correct?
And doing that by tying water use to assessments.
Yes, absolutely.
It impacts assessments.
So now we're going to turn the rest part
On
over
water.
to,
On water.
let James go first.
Oh, okay.
All right, James, go ahead.
Okay, second slides, please. Well, see, this is what we do. Uh, Although,
It's supposed to have names.
although the residents, and we do have a penalized water bill, tier 3, tier 4. But now, because of, everybody sees that we have a more heavy rains, therefore irrigation high tier bill was much smaller, as I'll show you later. However, what I want to show you is, you can see, usually what we do is, we look at the high tier 3, for example, the slide, we resort to the highest bill. And the second one is the tier 4. And those ones, then the next things we do is we go check any of those meters associated with leaking. I appreciate the lane was willing to came with me and learn how to check the meter. So from now on, starting next month, she will do the task. And I'm too old to do that anymore. So, but
John can't
anyway,
get down.
Did she have to get up at 4 in the morning to do that?
that's what I meant. 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, it's too early for me. And but we did, through that checking the meter, we found a meter associated, well, we shouldn't say, few of those has a potential still leaking. And we are given the first patch of a list to plumbing division, ask them to check it out. And maybe there are a few more. When the rain stopped, during when the weather is warm up, you can do it. Yeah, next slides, please.
Let me know when you're doing the check, because I get up at 3:30 in the morning.
Oh, are you willing to do it? 3 o'clock in the morning?
It's not that I want to do it, I'm saying,
Okay.
let me know, I won't use water.
You know, James, there is an app for that.
What app?
Checking leaks.
Don't hinder James's.
Okay, well, maybe I'll come to you to see how to do it. Okay, well, okay, this current slide at the bottom, for some reasons, this red color does not show very bright red. However, at the bottom, November, latest high tier water, you can see for irrigation, both about $85, $100 because of more rainfalls. So I forecast the end of last year, beginning of this year, we will have a much better irrigation water usage. And so the majority, guilty part, still higher tiers, still belongs to the residents. And that, after we're checking out the leaking, we'll give the list to communications, send out a letter, ask a resident to save water. The next one, the last one, and this is the total water bill. So you can see the total was slightly less. And then, of course, the difference, total water bill was over budget by almost $100,000. So, and that's because early of last year was dry. Hopefully, this year we'll do better. So, thank you very much.
Well, also, last year, the landscape department did some planting at the beginning of the year and used a lot of water, and they did it without even
Yeah.
reviewing
Well,
it with us, so.
One area we want is because of our housing and irrigation pipes are old. So one way we can save water, this is again, question to Siobhan and Kurt, is right now, they only check the pipes, leaking pipes, once every 6 weeks. Maybe we can do a little bit more frequently so that we can, quicken, shorter time to fix the leak. A lot of water was due to leak, pipe leaks.
Well, but that also can have the support of the residents in turning
Yeah.
that in, and that's a very active part of.
Yeah,
of
we can get them.
worrying
yeah,
about our money.
Residents involved, that,
Right.
that would be very, very helpful too, yes, thank you.
All right, further water?
Yes?
At the last Water Committee meeting, we discussed, this is a real conundrum, because we're spending $2.5 million a year on water, and we find there are multi-story buildings that appear on these lists month after month after month. We found out that we can't go to compliance because they're not metered, they're not metered individually, and so we discussed, well, what about getting the building captains involved? And that was the concurrence on the part of the chair of the Water Committee, and so I did go to the last GBA meeting, and I made a presentation regarding water usage. And I asked for a show of hands of whether we could call on the building captains to get involved, and it was not very positive. I had 3 or 4 hands show up. How many would not like to get involved? And there was also hands raised in that regard. But we got a suggestion that has some potential. And they suggested, well, here's what we think. Why don't you meet with those multi-story residents that appear on these lists, maybe there's 3 or 4, and make a presentation to all 24 manors, or all 21 manors, and use this kind of information, develop some slides that show what causes water usage. And so we'll be discussing that at the next water meeting, because getting the building captains to be involved is very, very difficult.
Well,
And
because
that-
they have so many other responsibilities as building captains, when something's wrong, when the signs don't work, when we have problems with trash, which thank goodness that since Siobhan has been involved, I haven't had more problems with the trash bin rolling out into the street, like, they have a lot to do with as a building captain, so we don't want to keep adding to it, but I'm sure that Jack with his committee will get the energy going so that we all take water conservation more seriously. That's what we have to do.
I think that, if I may, I think the captains would entertain educating the residents.
Yes.
Where there was pushback, and correct me if I'm wrong, is when you start coming on as, a enforcer.
Police, right, yeah. Right.
Police.
Like the water police.
You might ask John his opinion. He and I were the 2 people that attended the GBA meeting.
Well, I'm sure his opinion will be positive because he's a very positive board member. No?
My opinion is basically everything that was of value was already stated, and except for the fact that Lynn was there as well.
Okay. Well, I think that, John, he feels that you haven't spoken up yet today at today's meeting, so he wanted to get you involved. We don't want to not use all of our talent. All right, so, that's, all right. So in any case, the next water meeting will be on February 12th, and we do invite our residents to participate because this is very important to all of us. I wonder how much water we waste with unnecessary leaks. And I don't mean all kinds of leaks. So I always think about that. All right. The report of the Resident Policy and Compliance Task Force, Director Brittinghouse.
The task force met on December 3rd. That was our last meeting. We talked about revisions to the private caregiver policy, and in fact, that's one of the resolutions on the calendar for our next full board meeting for final approval. Our next meeting is on February 11th, and we will be discussing a variety of things. I haven't set the agenda yet, but I've got a number of people that have asked to put some things on that agenda. And that's it.
Okay. So now we will go over the GRF committee highlights. So if you are involved and if you are the director on a GRF committee, please give a report on the committee meeting. So Director Bada for CAC.
Yes, ma'am. The CAC meeting that we had on January 10th was quite well attended. I think I haven't seen a meeting so well attended. The whole room over here was full of people. And they were talking about the TV that was removed from the coffee room at Clubhouse One, which was quite hilarious. We did have a good conversation, and we did make some decisions to put the TV back, and but it is coming with some consequences. So I will leave the Recreation Department to resolve those consequences that we have decided and get the TV set up again for the people to watch. I don't want to get into that. The calendar of events was presented, and there are some really nice events for the month of January. I would encourage people to try and attend all or some of them. The noteworthy ones are the trip to the Hilbert Museum, which is tomorrow, by the way, and you have to have a reservation made at the Recreation, and the Old Town Orange, the museum and the Orange. It's a bus excursion. The next one is a Lunar New Year celebration at the PSC. It's on the 27th. It's in the morning from 11 to 2, and an evening event also, which is a paid event. Tickets are for $10 and $15. I think Shawan did cover that earlier in the morning. We did discuss, did I mention that? Discuss the new policy and procedures for the Recreation Department that was presented. And there's a handbook which can be available if they would, it's mainly for the club presidents, and they should contact the Recreation Department for the updated one. The other item that we covered was that the clubs can have 2 fundraising events, and they can invite outside vendors to come and sell their products over there. There is a free movie, the free movie night, which is on January 21st with popcorn and movie. And the name of the movie is Some Kind of Different as Me. Is that correct, Steve? Mm-hmm. So it's an enjoyable thing. Me and my family usually attend that, and I encourage everybody to use that lovely event every month. Thank you. The next meeting of the CSC is March 14th, 2019 at 1:30 p.m. in the boardroom.
There is one that you forgot.
What is?
Thursday, February 7th is 2019 dog licensing and vaccination day. And this is put together by, I believe, the Laguna Woods Dog Club. And it's a very good event because it's good for the residents.
It's a great event, but it was not discussed at our meeting.
Well, obviously, we didn't have a dog lover there. But this is a great event because people who, might not get around, you can get your license taken care of. There are people there, you can get the rabies shots taken care of. So I went to it once because usually we're too busy at meetings, but it was a great event. And it is, so this is put on by the Laguna Woods Dog Club. And it's Thursday, February 7th in Clubhouse One Main Lounge. And it's an event that you could bring your dog to, obviously, if they're going to get a shot. So it's sort of cute. You see a lot of residents there, all kinds of dogs. So enjoy it. So it's a good thing. So we need a report on the finance, and thank you, Kush. A report on the Finance Committee, Director Parsons. You went to that?
No, this is GRF.
Yeah, you
So-
went in my place.
No.
Was on vacation.
Somebody went in my place. Jack went in my place.
We were absconding.
I don't have a report.
There's no report, okay. All right. So the committee met on January 10th. The next meeting is March 14th. Did I? No, I didn't go.
No.
February 20th.
No, is the next, oh, I'm sorry, I can't
by
read.
monthly.
The next meeting is February 20, I was reading the
Yeah.
wrong line. February 20th, 2019 at 1:30 in the boardroom. And this meeting will have the presentation by BlackRock at the meeting. So this is an open meeting in the boardroom, so all those who would like to are welcome to attend. Why did I know that? I
I
don't know.
said it on Monday.
Okay, thank you. All right, so the Maintenance and Construction Committee, Director Frankel, anything for GRF?
The landscape committee.
I forgot.
They did not meet.
They didn't meet? Okay. The Landscape Committee didn't meet. The
So-
next meeting is January 16th
Right,
in the boardroom.
which is tomorrow afternoon.
And Director Tung is going to attend with
Whistling.
Director Jarrett, correct?
Yes.
All right, good. All right, so now I'm going to go back. Did you discuss the Maintenance and Construction Committee? There was none. It did not meet in December. The next meeting is February 13th, correct? Okay, so now I'm going to move to Media and Communications. Director Bruninghouse.
Yes, we met on December 17th. Cheryl, these minutes need to be, or these things need to be corrected. It wasn't the 27th, it was the 17th. Make sure we get that right in the minutes. Next meeting is January 21st in the boardroom. And we discussed broadband and media contracts report from Chuck, and also the digital pay tier system update from Chuck. And then we talked about the marketing and communications report that Eileen routinely gives. So again, next meeting, January 21st, 2019, 1:30 in the boardroom.
Go ahead, yes.
I won't be able to attend the meeting next week, but I did have a discussion with some people on the GRF board because, it's been a big issue about the broadband costs and the contract renewals and how things are negotiated and if any consolidation can make sense. And the only thing I was going to add is they seem to be way more aggressively interested in controlling those costs. Maybe that happened in the last meeting. I wasn't in attendance, but they're definitely not planning on passing any cost along without further research, and I was just going to ask anybody who's willing to attend that meeting, because I certainly would be planning to be there and speaking out on any financial-related cable issues if it comes up during that next meeting, so I want to make sure we stay in direct communication with them on that.
Well, our representatives on media and communication are Roy and Lynn. So according to the schedule, so if anything you really want to be passed along or something you really feel strongly about, you could talk to Lynn.
I have a comment.
Yes?
For Roy and for Lynn, for your information, our TV in the family room, we have a nice box for it, everything's fine, but the one in the bedroom where she puts on her makeup plugs into the wall, and all of a sudden now she can't get some channels because of this change. And I looked into it, and it turned out I had to buy for $4.95. I bought a little box for that TV, and now she gets everything. She's a happy camper. So if people complain that as a consequence
Save
of the
the
changes,
marriage.
I'm sorry.
Save the marriage.
You could tell them that, hey, this little $4.95 box
Well,
will get you.
My comment on that, and that's the kind of the philosophy and mindset I want to make sure is passed along, is you just raised your assessment by $4.95 a month.
Yep.
And they keep doing this. So it's like cable is included as a feature of Laguna Woods Village is part of your assessment, but by the time you start adding up all the components of what you want to have a working cable and internet system, it's not. It's really that simple.
Moving from analog to digital?
Well, okay,
Yeah.
the thing is that this is something very important, and it should definitely be brought up, it should GRF. Not only should it be brought up when you go to the Media and Communications meeting, but it should be brought up when we are in the budgeting process. So you're right, we get as part of your assessment, we get very, 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 very basic cable. Basic. And then it's all added up. So, but I don't know when we've ever done a report or when there's information available that how much cable would cost if we were in I'm going to use the outside world. So that's also important. But it's a good point. All right, so the next thing on our agenda is a report on, the Mobility and Vehicles Committee, Director Frankel.
I gave a report at the last third board meeting, and the committee has not met since then, so I have no report.
So the next meeting is February 6th at 1:30 in the boardroom. Security and Access Committee, Director Bruninghouse.
We met on December 17th. That was our last meeting. This committee meets bi-monthly. The next meeting will be February 25th.
Not January.
January 25th.
No.
February 25th.
Okay,
The
well,
document is not correct.
Okay,
Cheryl,
it's-
if you will change that, please.
all right, but it is our responsibility when we have agenda prep to try to catch these things ahead of time.
I understand that.
Okay, so it certainly is, Cheryl is not alone on this part of the dance.
If
this
you want to
dance
take me
troupe.
out and hang me, please
No,
do.
No, we're going to take you out and dance with you.
Oh, well,
Right.
that's,
Okay.
oh, boy. Thank you,
Okay.
Steve.
But with nothing on this board is a one-person band. We all have to do it together. So,
All right, so the next meeting is February 25th at 1:30 in the boardroom.
9:30 or 1:30?
1:30.
Oh, my goodness.
We have
you
architecture at
even missed
9:30.
the time.
Yeah.
All right, so the
Yeah,
next
it was
is
all met.
the Disaster Preparedness Task Force. Doesn't have a name next to it. Director Frankel, is that you too?
I'm on that task force, that's correct.
And do we have anything to report?
We haven't had a meeting.
Okay. I should just put, John could give all of his reports. All right, that would be a way to do it.
Well, I'm
We could
out,
all-
you took me off the GRF Landscape Committee, I'm an alternate now, is that right?
Right. Because Lynn wanted to do it. All right, so we have to move John Pearlstone onto a stronger position somewhere so he could report. Bunny always reports because she reports to us and reminds us of what we have to do. Okay, so future agenda items, is there anything to add? So at this point, before 11:30, which is excellent, we are able to go to director comments. So I'm going to start with Bunny. Anything? Nothing. We thank you for your continued hard work in trying to keep us in line. John?
No, thank you.
Jack?
No.
James?
No, but one comment about the lunch. Because we finished the meeting earlier, and Catherine is so nice. She asked the restaurant to bring the lunch between 11:30 and 11:45.
All right.
So we'll have a short time
Well,
to wait.
Catherine is excellent on every
Yes,
way.
very much
Okay. Steve, you have anything?
No.
No, ma'am.
Just stay dry.
Sun's out.
Okay, we have been advised, I've just been advised that one of our board members has resigned for health reasons. So we're certainly going to miss him. That is Director Chow. And unfortunately, his health has been very precarious. So we told him that when he gets better, and we hope he gets better, that we welcome him back with open arms. So as always, Cheryl will be sending out the information and be doing information. Look, she looked at me like with a bad look on what to do to apply for a third board position. And it's it's really a 2.5-year position because Paul had just been put on the board. So what to do to apply for the position, the deadlines, the dates, and whatever for the appointment. So be looking for information from Cheryl. She'll probably put the dates together, so whoever does the report on Monday will be able to announce it. Eileen could put it in the papers, et cetera. So we're very sorry, and we wish Paul his best, our best always.
I do
Are
have a
you
comment on
applying?
that.
You're already on the board.
I mentioned to you the other day that Colin, who was an advisor to the
John,
Finance Committee,
John, we can't talk about the candidates now.
and he could be interested in coming.
Okay, it's up to the people to apply, not us to tell them. All right, so in any case, how do you say Happy New Year in Chinese?
新年快乐，
Well, could you say it in the microphone, because we can't say it?
新年快乐. You want me to say in Chinese?
Yeah.
新年快乐.
Okay, well, it's
新
Happy
年
New
means
Year.
New Year.
Okay.
快乐 means happy.
All right, thank you very much, and thank you for attending our meeting. Bye-bye. Oh, wait.